it's probably just corona.
Most people who had corona
bullshit,
developed
bro.
like long-term damage as well, which is really shitty. Yo, they actually did a study that showed that if you sneeze or cough, it could spread up to 30 feet, bro.
Dude,
Like,
I fucking
Bro, at
sneeze
this point,
sometimes, right?
I don't believe any of that bullshit fucking studies they say, because they also say they studied coronavirus and shit, and then all this bullshit here, all this bullshit here, and now all of a sudden they're starting to say like, oh yeah, well apparently we never actually studied the whole 6 feet thing. Oh yeah, apparently we never actually studied the whole masks actually work. Oh, we never actually studied all this. It's like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah,
We
but
never actually studied the death rates. So yeah, we kind of just, you know, if someone, and we never actually studied the actual infection rate and all that shit. It's like, so we just kind of, you know, if someone got it, we assume 3, 4, 5, 6 other people around them got it, because it's just easier that way. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
You said you come back last
night,
and then you didn't. You slut.
Sneezing,
you said
sneezing
you were
feels like a war crime.
Minutes, never came back.
It is super fucked up, because really even now they're saying only 500,000 Americans died last year because of coronavirus, which is super inflated first of all, but even then that number is so fucking low compared to the actual number and all that bullshit. Like, it's just so much bullshit, bro. Because like literally if you die, they get paid $35,000 by the government to say that it was coronavirus.
That's fucked up.
Like, straight up. Yeah, so even then, so you could die in like a, you know, like it's kind of, people make jokes about it, but it's like a real thing, you know. People so like, oh, he fell over and died of coronavirus, you know, but and they're making jokes about it and shit like that, but that's what's really happening. Like, if you die in a car crash, anything, they actually have been putting coronavirus on it because they're getting paid by the government to say the death was caused by coronavirus, because that inflates the number of the deaths, and the more deaths, the more fear it puts into the whole world, and the longer they can carry this out and pretty much make a shitload more money off of and put their bigger plan into effect. You know what I mean? Like, slowly, you know what they're doing right now is the early stages of communism, like straight up, like full-blown world communism, like straight up. They put fear and bullshit fucking viruses into the fucking, you know, into the world and all that bullshit, and they slowly start to introduce more and more fear and isolation and de-isolate all that shit. Like, it's just the early stages of communism is pretty much what it seems like they're kind of doing, in a sense. If it wasn't, then they would just be giving us real numbers and all that bullshit. They wouldn't have told us like, oh, you have to stay 6 feet away, oh, you have to like not have anyone over for holidays, and but instead they just told us like, oh, you have to stay 6 feet away from everybody, don't talk to anybody, don't touch anybody, like, keep a mask on, keep gloves on, don't go in anybody's houses for holidays, don't go over anywhere, stay home. If you get sick, stay home for 2 weeks. Like, all it's like, god damn, at home order, like, god damn, bro. Like, they just been doing some bullshit. Like, if you look at the early stages of like other countries that turned communist and shit, like, we're on like a similar, at least the America is like on a similar path they were in.
America.
Because really,
Australia,
like,
they're back to normal.
Hitler did it. Hitler did it in just a couple years.
What a genius!
Yeah, like, that motherfucker was on top of it, bro.
He revitalized the economy through industry.
Right. I don't know.
Not laughing.
Just kind of crazy, but it's bullshit too. Because like, they made the coronavirus, and then in less than a year they already had the vaccine. So that means they made, you know. And there's also a video or two on the internet of like news stations like practicing and bullshit that got leaked of like how they're gonna fucking like pretty much say the coronavirus is like out there and they have to stay